Hello, hello, everybody. Got a little bit of shadow here, but if I sit back, I think that shadow is gone. So that's not bad. Okay, so it's around 2 p.m. and it is Tuesday, and Augie is here as usual. She has learned how to go down and eat her little food. And so that is great. And today we are going to talk about a topic that I do have another video on that's a little more detailed than this is going to be. And this hopefully will clarify some of those idiosyncrasies in the other one and will allow you to see the wonderfulness of this bag. I also have another video from another style of bag where you make a bag about this size and 4 cards with a sheet of DSP. And that is on my blog. And if you go below and click the more, you will see that link to see that bag with 4 cards as a gift. All right. So you can always do that. When you make a bag about this size, then you really can't make much of a card from it. But you can use that little strip that's left over in another way, which I will show you. So I'm going to show you how to do these bags fairly quickly and give some short hints. Okay, so we're going to be going live in just a minute, so I'll see you then. So we're good, we're settled. It's all about bags and all sizes of bags. There's my pretty little bird calling on you. So again, it's all sizes of bags, and I'm going to show you a quick set of directions. And I have shown you this before a while ago, maybe last spring, almost a year ago, but I wanted to remind you of how to do it. And I will give you the link to that video for more details if you want more details. I will also give you another link for a bag that is more this size, that holds 4 to 5 cards, and out of 1 sheet of DSP, you can make 4 to 5 cards with the rest of the DSP once you've made the bag. All right, so the DSP is the highlight of the cards that are made from this bag. Okay, so Renee here, and as we know, I am going to show you some Stampin' Up stuff, right? Because I am a demonstrator. So the bags. So this is one of the bags that I made, and I use an 11.5 by 12 sheet of paper. All right. And whenever I do that, I have to decide how thick I want it and how tall I want it. Pretty much this is as tall as it gets. All right. And it doesn't get much taller than this. So because this was 12 inches tall, okay, and 11.5 inches wide, and I used 2 sheets of paper, okay? And so when you do that, you are going to end up at a height that is about 8.5 inches wide and 10 inches tall. And I'll explain that in just a second. So I thought this would be an easy video because I wanted to show you these bags and how nice these bags are and how much they can hold, okay? So I did put little holes in them so that I could do this. And then in this bag, what I did is I went ahead and I have some treats in here. All right, a huge bag of treats. I don't even know how many pounds that is. That is a 11.4 ounces of covered, caramel covered pretzels. And then I have a little homemade gift that I made. And this is this right here. And this is a clip that actually can be used to hold up a card. This is great for demonstrators, but if you want to show off a special card, you go ahead and clip it and stand it up. I don't think you'll be able to see it standing up, but that's what this is for. This is great for if you are a demonstrator for classes, all right? And this is really quite cute, all right? So in my second one, I actually figured out how to put a piece of Velcro so that you can take this off and then make a new one and put it on so that you can change with the seasons or change with the topic or something like that. And so I thought that was really kind of a good idea and worked quite well. All right, so that is one bag. Then the other bag that I made. Okay, so again, it's 12 tall by 11.5 wide. I used 2 pieces of designer paper. All right, and I'll show you everything in a shorter version, but you'll see how it works. And what I did is, because it's an 11.5 inches wide, I had a 1/2 inch from my 12 by 12 left over. So what I did is I just folded it in half and made a nice little border lip. All right. Now with these bags, okay, as you will see, because of the way they're made, all right, they do not have a handle, but you can make a handle. All right. And you might have to use a couple of pieces of designer paper, and I'll show you that with the other one. A couple of pieces of designer paper that has to be at least, I would say, 1.5 to 1 3/4 inches wide designer paper. And then what you would do is you would go ahead and the way I would do this, I'm going to see if you can see this, but here is that designer paper. And I would go ahead and I could put it here like this. I would reinforce it on the inside. So I will show you that. Let me see if I can do it this way. So I can do it like this. All right. But once I glue it on the inside, I would reinforce it with something just to make sure. If you want to do that, you definitely can do that. But as you see, it's not a huge handle. You can do it this way. You can do a handle this way and use 11-inch cardstock or designer paper, or 12-inch designer paper at 1 3/4, 1.5 to 1 3/4. And I would definitely double it like I did. I definitely doubled it, or even triple it if you're not using it also with cardstock. All right, so that you can carry it. Otherwise, you really don't carry this bag the way it is set up. All right, so this is close to the camera. It's a big bag. The bag ends up to be, this bag ends up to be, I took off 2.5 inches from the bottom. Okay, so I took 2.5 inches. And so then, so that would give me then, it was then at the end, it's 9.5 inches. And then it was 11 inches. And then to make it, it's 7 3/4 wide, it ends up to be. So that's those dimensions. When I used, I'll show you in a second, when I used paper that was 12 inches tall by 11.5 inches wide, and I took 2.5 inches off the bottom. So you go ahead and score the bottom at 2.5 inches up. Then you're going to use that same dimension and score, I call it side 1 at 2.5. all right? And then side 2, all the way through, you're going to score it at 1 1/4. So half of that value. Then on that side 2 1/2, you're also going to make that half score as well at 1 1/4, 2 1/2, and then 1 1/4 here and 2 1/2. These are always the same. If this bottom is 2 1/2, then side 1 will be 2 1/2, okay, and half of that value 1 1/4, and then side 2 will be 1/4. And the way you will do that to 2 sheets, and the way these go together is that what you do is you can fold that up. Let's say you fold that up, and you're going to put the double-sided here, the 2-fold with the single, and you'll glue it down like this. And then this is the single side to that double scored side. And then you will have your bag, okay? And we'll show you that on a small level, but I wanted to show you this bag and the score values. All right. So you can make this size bag. And with this one, we used again, I used, I believe it was, so that's 4 3/4. So, and that was 1 1/2. So I used 4 3/4, 1 1/2 off here, plus 3/4 is 1 1/2 and 1 1/2. So 3 inches. So I lost 3 inches from here. And this is, I know you don't know probably what I'm talking about. So 7 3/4, so about 8 inches long. Okay, so you would make one 8 inches long to make this size by 9 1/2. So this one was 8 by 9 1/2. All right, and this is the size you would get. And what you can get in here is quite a bit. And so here, for example, I did my, you'll see me advertise or pass on or share this wonderful product called Hideaway. And Hideaway is a great, great product. And they are these cups made out of silicone, great for traveling. If you're a traveler and you like to go in a plane, it is so wonderful because once you're done with your drink, you just go ahead and pop it closed again, and there you go. And then it's done and you're ready. This is your little insulation, your little koozie and your little insulation. I love Hideaway products. They now have a little cute backpack that's stowaway. They have these reusable forks and knives. They have these cleaning tabs. They have all kinds of things. They are Hideaway, and you can find them, and they now have a buy an item and get an item free. I would check that out if I were you. So that's what that would carry, just so that you know. Okay, so let's look at what happens. So you can make smaller ones, as I said, something like this. And this was done with a 6x6, all right? And I really could have just done the holes, but instead I used the Splendid Thoughts. I use the Splendid Thoughts die to make my handle. I love this little handle. I think it's great. Now let's look at what this can carry. Look at all the items. There are 2 ink spots, an eraser, a glue, and a D block, a paper pumpkin D block. What a nice little gift that you can make with this cute little bag. And it's basically using a 6x6. And with this one, with this one, I did 1 3/4 bottom. It looks like a 1 3/4 bottom. So this is 1 3/4 wide here. That's what that ends up to be. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and show you what you do. And I'm going to go ahead and show you with this piece right here. This is a 6x6, so you can make various sizes. That's the beauty of this. And I have decided to make the bottom, and I figure out what my bottom is going to be. And I score that at 1.5. All right. So that is scored at 1.5. I need 2 sheets of paper. So here we go. You need 2 pieces of the same DSP. Side 1, bottom length determines one of the side's lengths, and we're going to call that side 1. And so if I use the bottom as 2 or 1.5, or if I do an inch, I'm going to show you what an inch looks like so you can see the difference. It's pretty drastic when you go half the size. So you have to be careful because your bag can get pretty thin. 1.5 inches, I think, really is minimal for a bag. Really, 1.5 is really quite minimal. All right, so anyway, so this is 1.5. So that means my one side, so I turn it over and I make sure I score it at 1.5. Okay, so that's side 1. All right, and then it tells you that side 1 also, okay, right here, side 1 that is equal to the bottom will be scored again like side 2. So at 1/2. So that means then, so if this was 1.5 and this was 1.5, this is going to be scored at 3/4. So this was 1.5 scored and then 3/4 scored. That is side 1. And then that one just stays at 3/4. And that's all the scoring I do for this, okay? It does tell you that, for example, and that's to help you, this is to help you determine sizing of what you're going to end up with, okay, right here. So let's say I score a bottom at 2 inches, then I'll score side 1 at 1 2 inches. So half of the value, okay, of that bottom and the value of that bottom. And that's what I did on this side right here at 1.5 and at 3/4. Yes? Okay. Then on side 2, all I'm going to do is the half value. All right. And so that is at the 3/4 because 1.5 and half is 3/4. Square bottom, score one side, 1 and 2, score side 2 at 1. So half the value. So you will lose on that one in particular, you would lose 3 inches from the side and 2 from the bottom. So it's always the full plus the half value that you're losing. Okay, the full value and the half value on that bag width. All right. So the way to do this then is very simple. And again, you need 2 of these. And so I've scored 1 already. And you're going to need some scissors. And this is the end that you're gluing. So just like any end that you glue, that tab, you typically, that extra little tab, you cut off from the bottom. I cut off 2 inches. I believe that's 2. And then here I just go and cut it off. And then here I cut up to that score line as well. But I keep that full tab. All right. Then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to cut this right here. Like that. And I'm going to cut like that. All right. So take a screenshot if you want to have that concept. So this one again was scored at 1.5, 1.5 and 3/4 and 3/4. Okay. So this is the 1.5. Now how to glue this together? The best way to glue this, decide on your sides. So this is the double side, fold it, and this is the double side, fold it. You're simply going to go ahead and take that and glue that. So what I'm going to do, first thing I'm going to do is I put those two together. As you saw, that's the half side and the double side is what I'm going to call them. And I'm simply going to glue that. All right. But before I do that, I really should talk about how to do the handle. So the handle that I like to make is usually the opposite side of the designer paper. And what I would do is I would fold it up and put it in the center. See what my center is, which is right there. I can see that center here because of these flaps. It makes it very easy. Then I'm going to go now to my machine and I'm simply going to put it in this way and go ahead and score that. Cut that. You want to make sure that you put it all together. Let's hope I kept it all together. Because if I didn't, then it doesn't come out right. You might want to use some of the tape also to help you. But there it is. I just took it and I scored this side. I scored them like this and put them in, okay? So I scored them. I keep saying score, cut, die cut, die cut, die cut. So now I have these two little pockets. Like I have right here, a pocket of the other side of the designer paper and put some things on the inside. See how cute? All right. So now, again, which makes it kind of nice because now it's going to be easier to glue. And we'll see how good I put them together. I did pretty good. So these are put together correctly. So I fold down on that 1.5 and up on the 3/4 and down on the 3/4. Same on the other side. Put the double and single sides together. All right. Just going to put glue right there and glue right there because, oh, I didn't want to put glue there though. Do not put glue there yet. Nope, no, 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 no. Not all the way down, not beyond that line. Because you don't want that being glued down yet. Okay, and then we're just going to go ahead and put that on top. Isn't that easy? Just put that right on top there. And glue that down. And there you go. You have your bag already. All right. Now for the sides, you're going to put the tabs down. You're going to decide what your front is, whatever your front is. And then that flap, the last flap that goes on. So I don't want this to be my front. I want this to be my front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this tab down first. This tab down first, then this tab. I want that last tab that I put down facing the back, if that is easier to understand. And then I'm going to do that and that, and that's how easy this little bag is made. That's it. You can use a hole punch for this if you want to. You can use just like I did the other bags where I simply, and this one I did 2 holes and the hole and the handle, which you can do that. So you can tie your little ribbon across if you like. So that was a double. All right. And you can just have this. And then you can probably with this one easily use a handle and it won't be too bad. I would do the handle at again, probably at 1.5 inches is what I would use the handle as. All right. So great little bag, ready to go, right? Just that sweet and done. And then basically all I would do is I absolutely love making a pocket. And so my pocket ends up to be glued just right at the bottom. And I would either put flowers down there. I'm going to put this one low. And I can put like a little flower here coming out of the pocket, or I can have some hearts coming out. I love putting little hearts in there, that kind of a thing. A little note in here. You can have a little enjoy or Merry Christmas, especially with that tea set. I'm sure you could do something with that little teacup set with this. That would look just adorable. So I am pretty sure, or a little candy cane, or the candy cane set you could do. All right, so that's that one. And again, this one still, like we said before, holds quite a bit of things, right, guys? So that really works well. Before I lose that. And I have a couple of these then. Now, I did want to show you one other thing. So really quick, just to show you this. And this I already did, but I did it kind of wrong. But this is 1 inch. I just want to show you the difference that yes, it'll be taller. But again, this is the single side. This is the double side. Single side matches up with double side, right? This is going to be my front. So this time I'm not going to put any glue beyond that score line. Put some glue there. Put some glue here. Just fold it down. This is the beauty of this. Fold it down and go ahead and put it right there. What I like about this is that you can go ahead and arrange it so that it perfectly fits where it's supposed to on the sides and everything, just like that. All right, just like that. So that it works for you in a perfect way. And again, we're going to flap. And I'm going to decide that what's going to be my front won't matter. I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. So the last flap, the way it's pointed, determines the back of your piece. And here, just like that. So easy. It's so easy. Just like that, put the 2 flaps down, take my ruler, and I did want to show you the difference when you go ahead and make that 1 inch. This is a 1 inch, so really you could not do less than a 1 inch. This is a pretty skinny bag, but it still carries that. It still carries this pretty easily. It still carries, let's see if I have some dimensionals. Here's a little container of dimensionals, still carries dimensionals. Of course, it will carry some glue dots from Paper Pumpkins and kits. It will carry a brush. Isn't that fun? Now the brush is a little tall, all right, but it for sure would carry some Stampin' Up scissors. That would work. It's a little tall again. So let's see how our bone folder works. Bone folder works. So you can see how that works, okay? So again, take a peek at those directions. There is your bag. Here is my little, again, pocket. I love making the pocket, I must admit. It's the fun part for me a little bit to do that. See if I can get some glue out of this one. I'm a little low today. Sorry about that. I'm a little far from my desk. I've been doing that lately. I think I have plenty of room and I'm not staying on the surface. Yeah, well. The good glue is in the bag. But, oh, I was doing the wrong side anyway. Oh, there it is. Oh, see, it knew better. It was saving me. It knew better. There you go. Again, here, I'm going to put it a little bit higher. But there's my little pocket. And I can put a little message in that pocket. So that's how that works. Okay. So that's it, guys. That is it. So this time I did make it in good timing. Again, I will link you to the information probably in comments. All right. So I'm going to do a comments on my Facebook. It'll be in comments. And on YouTube, you will have to go to the directions, which basically it's written there and it says more, and click on more. And you will get the 2 types of bags that you can make, various sizes, using the first link will be to the video that makes these kind using 2 pieces of designer paper. The second link will be to my blog, which is for a 1 sheet of designer paper that would allow you to make card faces with the rest of that DSP that you used for that, that you didn't use for that bag. And so here are your dimensions. The best I could write them up. I am not a wordsmith, but I thought with the example, hopefully this will make sense. All right. So that means any size will do. 2.5, I think, is pretty as far as you want to go, and then 1 inch is as low as you want to go on the sides. So we can use that as a good rule of thumb, that really you don't really want to go for any of these bags. You don't want to go more than 2.5 inches, nothing greater than 2.5 inches, or less than 1 inch. It just wouldn't work. So between those values, 2.5 to 1 inch. All right. So you go 2 inch, 1 3/4, 1.5, all those different sizes, and basically make all these different sizes of bags. All right, guys. Thank you very much. And check my comments and the more under YouTube so that you can get to the links for more information. And if this was enough, that's great. Then go forth and have some fun. All right. I will not see you next Tuesday on my live. I will have a YouTube going on, and I can post that to you, but I will not have a live next week. Okay, so Renee saying bye-bye. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving and hope to see you soon, but not next week. Bye-bye.